Yes, the big question mark for Saturday's game. Will it be Will Rogers or will it be Mike Wright who takes the helm for the Bulldogs against the Auburn Tigers? Hi, everybody. I'm Russ Stanton. I cover Mississippi State for Last Word on collegefootball.com. I had the chance to meet up with an old high school buddy of mine, Rick Cleveland. Rick hosts the show High School Sports Today with Rick Cleveland. Covers about the entire state from Muscle Shoals to Mobile and everything in between. But if you want to cut to the chase, just go to your browser and go to Kicks 100.3 out of Sylacauga. Rick and I talked about a lot of things about both teams, but I specifically asked Rick about how he felt about Auburn's performance against Ole Miss last week.
Well, Russ, it's the same problems keep coming up, and there's just no answers. The offense was awful. Really, it was rock bottom versus Lane Kiffin's Ole Miss team, and you know, we're just not very good. Auburn's not a very good football team right now, and we're suffering from about 4 or 5 years of just really bad recruiting. And Brian Harsin didn't carry his weight when he came to Auburn, and I really like Brian Harsin. I had a chance to do a couple of his jobs, a couple of these games as I was doing some broadcasting collegiately, and I really like Brian Harsin. He just wasn't a good fit at Auburn, and we just missed out on some really good players. And you know, Hugh Freeze, I think, is a great recruiter, but he didn't inherit a flower garden. I can tell you that.
Talking about the recruiting part, Dan Mullen resurrected. I mean, we went.
Right.
Mississippi State went from 45th in terms of recruiting up to number 25 in recruiting, and so they won the battle of Mississippi over Ole Miss within the state and surrounding states. And I think Mike Leach continued that.
Yeah.
And I think during the bye week that State had last week, Zach Arnett he absorbed a lot of what Leach did, and
Right.
We're hoping for that a lot. But I feel your pain because we had 3 rough games against SEC opponents, LSU, Alabama, and can't remember the other one right now. South Carolina.
Well, and there's a couple of parallels there. Let's talk a little bit about that Mississippi State team. First of all, Matt Brock has done a heck of a job with the defense. I mean, just a tremendous job. When you can control, and that's what they did, Mississippi State controlled the line of scrimmage. And when you can keep KJ Jefferson to no touchdowns, none, zero, zilch, nada. And you can take an offensive line that I think is one of the best offensive line coaches as a head coach in college football in Sam Pittman. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is, but I know this. Matt Brock did a great job controlling the line of scrimmage against an offensive line that I thought at one time had the chance to be the best in the conference. Obviously, they're not right now. They're better than Auburn's. I can tell you that. They're better than Auburn's offensive line. So I don't think that Mississippi State's going to have a whole lot of trouble sacking whoever we put at quarterback, either Peyton Thorne or Robbie Ashburn. I just think that that's a big advantage that Mississippi State's got right now in this game is if you control the line of scrimmage, and I think Mississippi State will, we're going to have a long night at Jordan-Hare.
Well, I think they're getting their act together a little bit on offense at Mississippi State.
Yep.
And it was Mike Wright's first time starting, and so there was some jitters. He threw an interception on the very second play of the game, and but then he settled in and he really got his groove, and then he could run as well.
Yeah, so, but Russ, Mike Wright has got wins. He started 11 games for Vanderbilt, and I think if I'm not mistaken, and you can tell me if I am, I think they beat both Florida and who else did they beat? They
Kentucky.
beat Florida and Kentucky. That's right. Yeah. Under when he was under center. So I mean, they just got to find what makes him click there, and if they do, we're going to really be in trouble at Auburn.
Well, they're kind of deep at running back.
Yep.
They're a little light, but they've got Tulu Griffin, nice wide receiver out there, and he showed Wright showed that he can throw the ball, and he's pretty accurate as long as he can settle down. I think I wanted to ask you about the 2 quarterback situation. That in my experience, that has never worked.
No,
you got to have a settling guy.
Yeah.
Now we had a 2 quarterback situation, but it was a little different because in the beginning of the season, at least, they brought Wright in to run what was kind of a modified Wildcat.
Yeah.
And they even split Will Rogers out as a wide receiver in one play, right?
Will's going to block somebody, isn't he?
Well, they were laughing about that. Will laughing about that too. So, of course, they know he's not going to run a route, but it evolved over time where he was getting more and more snaps. He was getting, and in the Western Michigan game, he got his first entire series, and actually he ran several series in a row. So
yeah,
and that was just before Will Rogers got injured. Yeah. So it was a good thing that he did that.
It was good. It was.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the offense. That Thor. I mean, you guys gave Georgia fits.
Yeah.
And what was that all about? I mean,
well, Georgia and Auburn is a historic rivalry.
Sure.
And there is Hugh Freeze had a great plan offensively, and Philip Montgomery's the offensive coordinator, and Phillips has struggled with Peyton Thorne. As a matter of fact, this past Saturday, Robbie Ashburn started at quarterback, and Hugh Freeze was calling the plays. It's kind of odd. It's an odd situation in that Philip called the plays in all the games up to this point. And in this game, Auburn started Robbie Ashburn, and Hugh called the plays when Robbie was at quarterback, and Philip Montgomery called the plays when Peyton Thorne was at quarterback. It's a strange situation, Russ, and I don't know the answer to that, but, the 28-21 score was not indicative of the way the game was played. I mean, it just wasn't.
I can see that. And he started Ashford, yep. and then almost immediately put Thorne in.
Yeah, so second series. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. It was very strange to do it that way.
Well, as bad as our offense is at Auburn, our defense is really, really good. Ron Roberts has done a great job defensively, and it helped us this week to get Marcus Harris back, to get Keontae Scott back, two really good players. And, I mean, listen, Ole Miss is one of the most productive offenses under Lane Kiffin in the country, bar none. I mean, he's a great offensive guy, and we went for 29 minutes, and they didn't score. They didn't score from really almost midway in the really starting of the second quarter, about 2 minutes into the second quarter, all the way to the end of the third quarter. Ole Miss didn't score. And when you can hold an offense like that for that long, that's pretty productive.
I think the big question mark is the offense, and are they going to improve? Arnett says, yeah. Are they going to improve?
This could be a 3-0 game. It really could be. It could be a 3-0 game. Those two linebackers, I was watching a little bit something I saw. They had 25 tackles between them, and tremendous football players.
Consistently, Jet Johnson had 3 games in a row. He had 14 tackles. This weekend they swapped places. Bookie Watson had 14, and right. Jet Johnson had 11. Wow. So that's amazing to me.
That is amazing.
But as I said in one of my articles, 2 linebackers alone does not make a defense.
No.
You got to have everybody else in there. Well, Rick, I appreciate you spending time with me, and we'll Hail State.
Yes, sir.
You say
War Eagle.
There you go.
Exactly right.
All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.
Take care, Russ. We'll see you soon.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.